Right, Arizona Republican Congressman Andy Biggs has been a staunch supporter of the Trump agenda. So does he think tax reform could be in jeopardy as Republicans try to hold on to a key Senate seat vacated when Jeff Sessions became the Attorney General? He joins us now live from Phoenix. Congressman, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Shannon. Good to be with you.
Okay, so we got the Senate side plan today. We already knew what we were working with in the House, and then we get this bombshell about a potential Senate candidate who, that vote could be critical on the Senate side to getting something passed there. How worried are you about these scandals and distractions, potentially jettisoning tax reform, which you guys need to get done?
Well, you've been watching, I've been watching, and I'm there, and I'm not sure that we're the best at being focused with distractions going on. And so this is a big distraction, one, but the second thing is, the good news is I see a lot of us moving in the same direction with the Senate, the House and the Senate. Now, there are differences, but I think we can get it done. And I think it behooves us to get this thing done sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and a lot of voters who are waiting to see things get done. Obamacare repeal didn't happen. They want to see tax reform done. There have been a lot of promises by top leaders that this will get done by the end of the year. And as you said, though, there's still some criticism. And it's not necessarily, you knew the Democrats wouldn't like it. But even within the GOP, there are a lot of differences. Senator Jeff Flake had this to say. He says, I remain concerned over how the current tax reform proposals will grow the already staggering national debt by opting for short-term fixes while ignoring long-term problems for taxpayers in the economy. We must achieve real tax reform crafted in a fiscally responsible manner. We're hearing from a lot of folks who are fiscally conservative who say this thing doesn't look a whole lot like a Republican small government tax-cutting plan.
Well, I think it's because we've got so many moving parts in there. I think the main thing that the American people wanted was a reduction of the rates, and that's what we have. And the Senate really nailed it in their plan today in that top bracket, so everybody gets a rate reduction. But at the same time, we don't have this dynamic scoring, and you have to figure the dynamic scoring is going to really pump up the economy and bring in more revenue. That's the first side, but the other side is, let's just face it, we need to be cutting spending. You have to cut spending, and we just haven't seen that we have the will to do that.
Yeah, where's the appetite for that? Where's the appetite for that on the Hill? By Republicans.
Yeah, I'm shocked myself being there new, and there's a lot of want to make reductions, but the overall will doesn't seem to be there, and that's the demoralizing type of thing. But I do believe that the dynamic scoring effect is going to be so big. If we move to the 4.6 as it's predicted in the next quarter, it'll be because of this tax reform. And I suspect that we're going to keep growing. And every 1 point of growth is $1 trillion more in the economy. That generates more federal tax revenue. But it does you no good if at some point you're unwilling to reduce the spending.
Yeah.
And so that's the push that I'm trying to make as well.
Okay, I want to ask you about something that was also really big on the trail, campaign trail last year, important to your state in Arizona, which is this issue of illegal immigration and how to handle young people who are here, the so-called dreamers. First of all, I want to play what Nancy Pelosi had to say about this, the House Minority Leader, and then a little bit from Speaker Ryan.
But I fully intend that we will not leave here without the DREAM Act passing, with a DACA fix.
Okay, that's her prediction. And the Huffington Post says this, that the House Speaker Paul Ryan, of course Republican, has privately conceded to a group of House conservatives on Tuesday that he plans to include a legislative fix for undocumented immigrants who came to the U.S. as kids in a year-end spending deal. Where are you on DACA? And do you think that's what GOP voters who elected this president, gave you guys the House and the Senate, is that what they want to see?
I don't think that's what our voters want to see. I'm not for that. I think that we buy into the Democrats' talking points when we start talking about DACA long before we talk about building the wall, and we facilitate actual building of the wall, securing the border, removing the incentives to come here and stay here illegally. And I think if we don't do that, then you can't even have a reaction, because most of these people who want DACA, they don't just want DACA, they want a clean DREAM Act, which means they don't want border security, they don't want a border wall. And so this is just a mistake, in my opinion, to get rid of the game, and the game should be building that wall and securing the border. Once you do that, no emotion will come into it, and you can have an objective discussion about what you do at that point.
Well, it's something that voters probably elected and sent you there to do, and many others across this country, so they're watching. Congressman Andy Biggs, thank you very much.